going on, everyone? Welcome to the episode 8 recap of Big Brother Canada Season 2. And yes, I know I did not change my shirt from the last episode recap. Ika, Rochelle, Neda, and Sarah are trying to figure out if they have the votes to take out Heather. And we find out that Sarah has decided to vote out Heather, as it doesn't really affect the first 5 alliance. Ika tells Paul that he's safe, but Paul doesn't know if he can trust her. He plays along with her and she just asks for his trust when he stays. Andrew is getting a handful of Allison's ass right now, and they start making out as soon as Adel has left the room. Andrew has fallen for Allison, obviously, but it looks like Allison is just playing along. Paul and Adel are in the hot tub, and they are getting excited that Paul might be staying. Adel thinks Allison is with the girls. Dude, seriously? You need to stop hanging out only with Paul and open your eyes, man. Allison is always with Andrew and Kenny. Adel calls all the house guests up to the HOH room to tell them about the buzzworthy news. The house guests find out about the Olympics, the Luongo trade, and the fan and family tweets. He mentions that he has a secret power, and it's a crazy power. But he doesn't tell the house guests. I think that's smart, because now he's got the house guests on the edge of their seat, thinking twice whenever they talk about him. Andrew and Kenny are talking on the couch, and Andrew guesses Adel has some sort of POV power. They know they don't have the votes to take out Paul, so they are going to try and convince Sarah and Sabrina to change their mind. Adel and Ika are talking in the HOH room, and Adel decides to tell Ika about his power. His power allows him to replace a POV player with himself, but Ika thinks they should spread rumors, saying that the power allows him to replace a nominee after the POV ceremony is over. Adel decides to start the rumor with John, and Adel thinks John is going to tell other people. We'll see what happens. In the backyard, Paul decides to dance, and damn, this guy has better moves than I do. He was popping and locking, and then Sabrina saw Paul and Adel having a good time, which then she walked in the other direction, and Adel thinks she has run off to tell everyone that Paul is having way too much fun, and he's too comfortable, like he knows he's staying. Kenny decides to talk to Sarah about changing her vote to evict Paul instead. Sarah doesn't want to because the girls will figure out she was the one that screwed them. And here we go again. Kenny goes all dramatic by saying, if your alliance members aren't going to do things for the team and stay loyal to each other, what's the point of an alliance? Then Andrew says Sarah needs to put her emotions aside and needs to vote out Paul. These guys are cray-cray. Andrew is the one that needs to get his emotions checked. He wants Paul out just because of revenge. Sarah and Sabrina come up with a plan to tell Ika that the guys don't like how Paul feels safe, thinking that Ika is working with Paul, so Ika would be their number 1 target. Sarah tells Ika this, and Ika doesn't bite. She listens, but she doesn't want to play the boys' game. She thinks she will be the number 1 target anyway. Neda can't tell if Sarah is working with the boys or with the girls, and she's going to keep a closer eye on her. Arissa tells the viewers that we can head to bigbrothercanada.ca to boost a power meter, and when the meter reaches 2 million points, then there will be a special Marsha the Moose task. Yep, Marsha the Moose is back. Okay, here we go. Is it Heather or is it Paul? By a vote of 6-4, Paul has been evicted. No! Damn you, Sarah! Sabrina voted to evict Heather, but Sarah was scared of the boys and decided to evict Paul. So disappointing. The HOH competition is called Hang In There for the HOH. In this endurance challenge, house guests have a strap around their waist that is attached to the same crank as all the other house guests. They have a platform in front of them with 2 pieces of plastic, which, when they press down, lights up. The crank will turn every few minutes, which makes it harder for the house guests to keep their hands on the platform. So, when they lift their hand off the platform, they will be eliminated. Before the episode ends, we find out that Heather is eliminated, and the funny thing is, she just told Arissa that this was the most important HOH competition for her. Anyway, that's your episode 8 recap of Big Brother Canada Season 2. If you liked my recap, please click the thumbs up below. If you have something to say, drop a reply down below. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe.